Before you form an opinion about nine-man, let me share with you the history of Chinese Americans so you can understand how the game of Chinese nine-man volleyball came to be. Many of the first Chinese immigrants came to the US during the 1850s for the gold rush, and then were recruited to work on the Transcontinental Railroad in the 1860s and helped develop the western frontier. Their labor was welcomed as long as there were plenty of jobs. But as an economic recession set in during the 1870s, Chinese workers were blamed for lowering wages and taking jobs away from white American workers. At the height of the anti-Chinese movement, Congress passed the Anti-Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 to ban Chinese immigration and deny Chinese residents the right to become US citizens. It was the first and only US immigration law to exclude a specific group on the basis of race or national origin, and it lasted until 1943. As a result, Chinese laborers could not send for their wives, establish families, and settle down in America. Local and state laws kept Chinese people from working in the public sector and certain occupations, attending white public schools, owning land and property, and marrying white Americans, which wasn't overturned by the Supreme Court until 1967. In addition to many discriminatory laws and repeated outbursts of racial violence, there were many social challenges that Chinese people faced. Chinese men in particular were viewed as racially inferior, unmasculine, diseased, immoral, and unfit for citizenship. It was very common for white Americans not to rent to Chinese tenants, hire Chinese workers, allow them to use public facilities like swimming pools and gyms, and integrate into mainstream society. Most Chinese men were laborers during the early 1900s, which means they worked in restaurants or did laundry. Imagine working 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days per week, having no family, no woman to marry, and limited social activities. Nine-man volleyball was a game that was formed out of intense racial discrimination and segregation, and playing nine-man was their only outlet from slave-like labor, racial exclusion, and loneliness.